Yeah. I was ready for immediately I was bracing for impact.
Yeah.
I immediately thought like, okay, I'm opening my pills and like measuring out how much I would be tapering off while adding on amino acids. But I was expecting like the downward drop of a roller coaster. But because I was so open and transparent with you about this is what I'm feeling and this is what I'm feeling it, what does this mean? What should I take? And trusting you implicitly, I think that allowed me to trust within the amino acids of, okay, I know Lori's got me, so I can trust that this, and if I'm
Mhm.
feeling this way, I can take that. Or if I'm really overwhelmed, or if my ADHD really kicks up and I'm feeling another type of way, what can I do?
Welcome to Take Back My Brain with Laurie Hammer, where real healing starts in the brain. I'm Laurie, a functional nutritionist and mom who's walked the path from anxiety and burnout to clarity and calm. Each week, we're going to dive into brain based tools like amino acid therapy, gut health, fasting, and faith to help you reclaim your energy, emotions, and sense of self. Hey everyone, welcome back to Take Back My Brain. I'm your host, Laurie Hammer, and I'm really excited today because I have with me a client and you're going to hear her testimony. And she is an amazingly beautiful woman. Her name is Lauren, and she has had quite the journey. So I'm going to let Lauren introduce herself. And Lauren, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, thank you. I'm excited to be here. I'm Lauren. I'm based in LA. I am a creative marketing social strategist. And yeah, found you a year ago, and I can't imagine my life without you now.
I know I can't imagine my life without you. It's been a crazy year together, but it's been so fun.
Yeah,
Can
it
you
really
tell
has been.
us? It really has been. It really has. Can you tell us where you've been, where you were before you came to see me, like mentally, emotionally, physically? What was your life like?
Yeah, so I wow, where to start? I was, I think, just on a hamster wheel of life for maybe my whole life. I I think the backstory adds some color and context. I had a
Yeah, go
pretty
ahead and share
traumatic.
whatever you want.
Uh, okay, I had a pretty traumatic, abusive, neglectful childhood. Very much a latchkey kid. And as a result, found myself very anxious and depressed and was put on SSRIs when I think I was maybe 20, 19 or 20. So I was on them for 15 plus years and have been in therapy for ages, well over 20 years, and found myself at this juncture where I had an opportunity to go experience some ceremonial plant medicine, which you cannot be taking SSRIs to experience because she's a very jealous plant. So was recommended through a friend of somebody who knew you, lots of different referrals. There were a couple other individuals as well that were recommended to me to have a consultation call with of how do I taper off these SSRIs in a safe way, because Western medicine culture doesn't help you do that, which is wild to me. And even as an adult, my brain hadn't fully developed while I was taking these medicines. And so that was really scary to me. I was so determined and dedicated to go on this journey of plant medicine, but found myself terrified of what it was going to be like coming off of Lexapro and Effexor. And can I do it? Am I going to feel safe? Am I going to lose my shit and want to do something drastic? Am I going to want to kill
Right.
myself? Like what are the on that scale, where am I going to fall and am I going to be okay? I hadn't known anybody who has ever tapered off meds before, so that was also really scary. I didn't have somebody that I could chat to about it. I had a few consultation calls where the suggestion was like, well, just, like anything else, here's the math, taper off the dosage. But it didn't feel supportive. It was just like, good luck. My doctor, that I also told him straight up, like, hey, I'm coming off these meds. he was also concerned and said, like, you can go back on them if you need to. So everywhere across the board was giving mixed signals, and I didn't really feel supportive. And then I had a call with you, and you were like, no problem. This is light work for me. And I instantly felt this very supported, nurturing connection with you where I was like, okay, I don't know much about amino acids. I don't pretend to know a lot about homeopathic medicine, although living in LA, it's thrusted upon me, and I'm very much sipping the Kool-Aid on a daily basis about it, but didn't know enough to figure out, like, where do I start? What do I do? And I think it was all really scary, and created a plan with you. You made amino acid therapy simple enough for me to understand what it was, and for me to explain thereafter to other individuals that I know who were struggling with the same thing, how that works and what that looks like. And I know that it's different for everybody who wants to come off their meds or figure out transitioning meds, but for me, this was the only way to do it. And it's been almost a year now. I think it'll be a year in early December,
Yeah.
where I'll be SSRI free and still taking my amino acids and prepping for another plant medicine journey in January. So really excited to still be here and experience life in a different way off SSRIs.
Right. I would love for you to kind of dive into that, Lauren, because you said your brain had not truly developed on the meds because you've been on the meds for so long.
Yeah.
Watching you go through the process of actually feeling the feels without medication
Hmm.
has been an interesting journey. It's blessed me. I prayed for you a lot on this whole journey because when you haven't felt like the real feels in
Hmm.
20, 25 years, it feels really foreign. So what's that been like for you?
Yeah. A lot. I, I do think that I think I got on the meds maybe when I was 19 or 20. I was in
Mhm.
college getting ready to travel abroad, and I like felt really scared about going and living in another country and not having support. And most of my family was already medicated, and I think it was my stepmom who was like, "Oh yeah, when you go to see Doctor So and So, like just say this, that, and the third." And I was like, "Okay, sure, I'll try it." Like this is my sister's on it, like my stepmom's on. Like this was never something. Being depressed and anxious was never something that was negative in our household.
Sure.
It just kind of was. But as a 20-year-old, I was already so unconscious and living in this state of survival because that's what I learned growing up in an abusive household, with lots of neglect. And then as you're 25 and the three parts of your brain come together and you figure out all the things that you want and you like and you don't like, at that point, I was already overworked and underpaid living in New York. So I had no time to just pause and just be in my brain and be in self. And I think it took coming to LA and having it get worse before it got better, and found a therapist after, God, 20 years of therapy where I felt like, okay, now I'm digging deep. I'm getting to the deeper stuff. And I think that makes a huge difference. You can never go as deep as you can't go as deep unless your therapist is going even deeper. Right. And I think that was a huge thing for me. And so even just being on the meds, I was able to access more of myself. But then coming off Lexapro in particular that I had been on forever, and then coming off Effexor, it was like this veil was lifted and I was able to really, it's not like the world became more colorful, but I was able to see feelings and experience them in different ways, and I wasn't pushing them down. And I think there was a lot of repressed feelings, especially even just hearing myself speak about some of the things that I was feeling made it real, and hearing it made me emotional. And I was always like a weeper, like a good birthday card, a great film. Like I'm weeping, but it was never to a point where I could access and touch certain things. And I think I was able to look at things from a different lens, even going back east and visiting my family on this past summer felt very different, not being medicated for the first time and seeing and experiencing my family, which is this is where all my wounding came from, and seeing how my parents interact and my sisters and my friends. And it was really beautiful. I was able to kind of take a step back and see it almost like the ghost of Christmas past. Like I was there, but I could see it from a different lens, from a real grown up mind versus my child mind state. But I don't think I don't think I could have predicted the level of feeling that I was able to access once I became off the meds
Mm.
and through amino acids for sure.
Hey, friend, just a quick break to remind you if calming your brain is the missing piece in your practice or in your home, my Mind Thrive certification course teaches you exactly how to do that with targeted amino acid therapy. So it's real science, real results, no band aids. Enrollment is now open. Link is in the show notes. So back to the show. That's amazing. I don't think people really understand what can happen when you remove the medication for sure.
Yeah.
What surprised you most about the amino acid therapy?
I was ready for immediately I was bracing for impact.
Yeah.
I immediately thought like, okay, I felt like I was in a meth lab, opening my pills and like measuring out how much I would be tapering off while adding on amino acids. But I was expecting like the downward drop of a roller coaster. But because I was so open and transparent with you about this is what I'm feeling and this is what I'm feeling it, what does this mean? What should I take? And trusting you implicitly, I think that allowed me to trust within the amino acids of, okay, I know Lori's got me, so I can trust that this endorphogen is also going to have my back too. And if I'm
Mhm.
feeling this way, I can take that. Or if I'm really overwhelmed, or if my ADHD really kicks up and I'm feeling another type of way, what can I do? And I think that surprised me the most, where there wasn't any impact. There wasn't a big drop at any point on this journey. It was a smooth sailing. There were waves of I'm not ready for these emotions,
Yep.
but it was supportive. And I think that was my biggest shock because I wasn't prepared for that level of support.
That's good. I mean, I loved working with you every step of the way, and so I never want anyone to feel alone, so I'm glad that that comes through. As you went through this last year, what do you feel like has been the biggest shift since? Because 'cause we've done a lot. We've done amino acid therapy, we've
Yeah.
got healing, some detox. I mean, we've done a lot, some testing. What are some of the biggest things that you have healed from in the past year?
Oh God. I think I was storing a lot of trauma and stress within my body. As soon as we started this journey, I want to say like a couple months in, I think I was like very freshly coming off my meds. I had just a little bit left that I was taking, and I had a weightlifting accident. And it was not because the I was lifting incorrectly or improper form or it was too heavy, but I was holding so much stress and tension in my back and in my body, and I had no idea. And I think that and I couldn't walk for a couple months and was in the hospital, had extreme
That was
physical
crazy.
therapy. I I didn't think that was possible, and I've heard that your body really does keep the score, but never experienced it. And I think that taught me the patience and the power of and how important it is to ask for help and to be open to receiving that. And I think that that has been that kind of set the tone and the theme for what this journey was going to be like. And I still think even now, it's it's made me be more comfortable with being vulnerable and allowed me to really speak up, and that it's okay to not be okay. You can't be okay all the time. And now when people ask me like, "Oh, hey, hi, how are you?" I don't care if it's the Trader Joe's cashier or a colleague or a friend, like, I'm never just, "Good, how are you?" Because like, I'm not good. Nobody's good. The level to be honest and vulnerable is, I think, important to share. So I'm always giving like a, 4 out of 10, and if they can meet me and engage with that, like, I'll tell you I'm a 4 out of 10, but I think the ability to not project and to stay honest and true to self is the biggest takeaway, I think.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest things I've noticed in you over this last year. Like, not that you were always like super reserved in the beginning, but you were very tentative to like really express everything as the years gone on. You're like, hey, this is just the way it is. This is what's going on. This is how I feel, and then really learning
Yeah.
how to, adjust the amino acids or adjust your lifestyle or,
Mhm.
things to talk about in therapy or to talk with somebody who you need to have those tough talks with, right? A
Yeah.
year ago, I don't know that Lauren would have been able to do all of that. I mean, you even
No.
look Lauren. I think I told you that a couple months ago. I'm like, you
Yeah.
just look stunning. Like she does. I wish I had
Thanks.
a before and after like right now because you were super cute before, but now you're just like, I mean, you can tell that your body has done so much healing and you're still healing,
Yeah.
right? It's not a
Yeah.
one and done thing. It's definitely a journey.
It really is, and there's I think my people pleasing nature was so strong of like I learned how to pretend everything is fine growing up, so that is was just my go-to mode, and, like, I shed that through this experience, and I just I don't have an interest to do that anymore, and, like, if it makes somebody else uncomfortable, those are their feelings, I really can't help you. But, yeah, I think this whole journey has changed me through, having tough conversations, through relationships, friendships, like, going through breakups. It's There's been so much, and I feel so much better, and I like, my skin is clearer, and I think even doing, like, the blood test analysis that we did, the hormone analysis, I was so curious, and a lot of those results, I needed you to translate the gibberish for me because I made no sense, but it was fascinating, and I've lost weight without trying. Like, I think the stress and anxiety and depression just kept everything so locked in my body that
Yeah.
I wasn't able to ever get rid of, in a sense.
Which
And
I
now I
think
just
is
feel
key. Yeah, people need to
for
understand that.
sure.
You just like when your neurology is so wrapped and wound,
Mhm.
right? And people are trying to lose weight and they're not losing weight or they're, trying to go through therapy. They can't go through therapy. Well, if your body can't unwind, like your just doesn't release anything. Like people go through detox therapy for
Yeah.
years and years. Well, but if your body is still wound up, you're still stuck in overdrive. Like, no wonder you're not,
Mm.
right? I mean, I have another
Yeah.
client and she was just on the amino acids and she'd already had a great diet. She's a fellow practitioner. Put her on the amino acids and she
Mm.
lost like 35 pounds in the last 6 months without trying. Like
Holy
she
shit.
didn't do anything other than her body is finally more relaxed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I felt that too. Not I mean, losing 35 pounds, I think that'd be a little drastic for me.
Yeah, it would
I'll
be
take it.
drastic for you, yes.
But I remember at one point I felt guilty because I was just laying on the couch, and I remember you telling me like, "Well, yeah, your body feels safe enough to relax now." And I
Mhm.
had never really felt that, and I've always been like, "Go, go, go, do, 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 and distract yourself so you don't feel stuff." So leaning into that, even post injury, felt really nice to just allow my body to be. And I think that was game changer. So
Yeah.
now if I'm just doing nothing, like, I know that's also healing, and I can remind myself of that and let go of the guilt that I feel that comes up.
Yeah, we weren't created to be driven all the time. I mean, God created us for rest
Yeah,
as he rested on the 7th day, like, clearly he likes rest. We need to allow our bodies to have that rest so that we can heal. And you learned how to
for
sleep better.
sure.
That's been a huge
Oh
thing
my
for you.
god. Yes, my sleep score this morning was 84. I'm, like, dying to hit 90 one day.
Uh-huh.
It's so hard. I'm constantly getting up to pee in the middle of the night, but sleep is, like, huge now, and I don't need many amino acids before bedtime to achieve that now. So I now have like healthier routines and habits leading up to going to bed at night and even waking up in the morning. that feels nice. Like being an adult is so hard and nobody prepares you for it. And I feel like now at 37, I've like mastered how to have like a good bedtime routine. And sometimes I'll mess it up and it's not as perfect as I want it to be, but I can try again the next day and just remind myself of that.
Yeah. And I love the fact you're like, well, I get up and pee during the night still. Like we're still in the healing process, right? So there's still things
Yeah,
that
still human.
still human, still things that we're working on, but such a difference in the last year.
Yeah,
Um,
huge.
yeah. So everyone listening, what would you like to, if there was like one or two things you'd want them to know the most, what would you say?
I think the first thing, this was a true reaction for me. Yes, it is expensive. It's expensive. And nothing makes me wanna roll my eyes more than when people say, "Ugh, I just for financially, I can't afford that." Sure you can. It's an investment into your health. You have one life, you have one body, and one purpose. Like, this is your one shot to do this, and you're not getting any younger, and you're not getting any healthier. And I've been guilty of doing that too for a lot of things. And then we'll quickly drop loads of money on food that I don't need to buy or an experience or clothes. And I think it's so much easier to spend things that you really want to have instead of investing in something that maybe you can't tangibly hold in your hands, but it is worth it. And I can't say that enough. And I think when I've recommended you to friends before, kind of opened the gate after explaining my experience and then giving them your contact info, said like, Pause. I know that you will have sticker shock. I did too, but this is an investment into your health and something that you will feel lifelong. Nothing that you buy or experience you will have for that long. And I think that is the biggest takeaway from for me and something that I think is should really be shared because what you think something should be priced as simply because it's not what you want to pay is not real life. That's not a reality. And yeah, your level of expertise and the way that you give yourself to your clients, I think is speaks volumes beyond just the working with amino acids. And I think that needs to be said up front. Aside from that, I will say that, yeah, it's hard, but you can do it and you're not there's accountability in this and there's support in this, and I think it's worth it. I still can't explain to somebody on the street what an amino acid is in a simplistic form, and a year later, I'm still taking my amino acids 7 times a day, and sometimes I'll mess up and I, like, will skip the afternoon doses and think like, "Shit, I messed up," but, like, I'm still human and I'm still figuring it out, and this is a journey, and nothing is perfect, but it's so, so, so worth it.
I love it, Lauren. It has been such a pleasure working with you, and I love your story. I love the outcome we have so far. You've come so far, and I'm so proud
Same.
of you. Yeah,
Thank you
so
so
proud of
much.
you. I thank you for sharing this with everybody. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. And I know there's going to be so many people listening that can relate to your story, and you're going to be such a blessing to so many people. So thank you.
Of course, I'm whatever I can do to help get the word out for you because I think you are incredible and have changed my life in such an incredible way, but the people that are like, "Oh my god, what would I do? I could never be off this." Like, what if I'm on an abandoned island or like there's a natural disaster and I don't have my meds? Like, you'll be okay because of this,
Yeah,
which is
that's
such
so
a
true.
drastic way to put it. But I've always thought that, like, what what if I'm on a deserted island and I don't have my Lexapro or like my asthma medicine? Like, well, there's a solution for that.
Yeah. And
And
it
so
is
I think
amino
that's
acid
that's very
therapy.
real.
It's huge. Yeah. There's so many
Yeah.
nuances to all of it. So if any of you like to chat with me, I'm on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Message me at Take Back My Brain. Visit my website, lauriehammer.com. Thank you, Lauren, again. I love you so much. Appreciate you.
Always love you.
Love you. Thank you, everyone, for listening. God bless. See you in the next episode. Thanks for listening to Take Back My Brain. If today's episode helped you connect with hope or direction, I want you to follow the show, leave us a review, and share it with someone who needs it. And if you're ready to start your own healing journey, explore our courses and our coaching programs at lauriehammer.com/store. So until next time, remember, you cannot medicate away a nutrient deficiency, and healing your brain isn't just possible, it's powerful.